So here's an update on my avocados. So I'm gonna show you what's looking good and what's looking bad. So what you see right here, this is Jan Boys. On top right there that you guys see, that is Gem, and then kind of to the right, you see some of the branches there. It's Kahalu. So let me kind of show you guys. I began this grafting project last July was when I made the majority of my grafts. So the good news is some of them has done really well, but the ones I got kind of got shaded out unfortunately died, even though they're taken and they're growing well. But some of these other branches are just doing really vigorously that they shaded some of those off, and they eventually died even though the graft took, and the graft was growing for like, probably close to like half a year or a year. Let me just kind of show you guys. See, this was a graft of Shawwell. Fortunately, it died back. This one was made in October. And then here's a graft of Pinkerton, which also died back. And that's basically because they all kind of got shaded out, unfortunately. Some of these other branches are just doing much more vigorously. So I did just recently made some new grafts, which is more on kind of like the top was getting shade, sunlight. I mean, getting sunlight right there. So hopefully those do a lot better than the ones that get shaded out. So that's the bad news. But the great news is I have a lot more fruits than I initially thought. I thought there was probably about a dozen fruits between Jan Boys and Gem. But fortunately, there's about 24 fruits between the Gem and the Jan Boys. I gotta show you. This is Jan Boys right here. This is the Jan Boys. But then I have this huge cluster after I began thinning the bottom out. So then I seen all these clusters of Jan Boys, which I was like, wow, very surprising to me. So these are all Jan Boys right here. Looking very, very good. And then along with Jan Boys, I do have some gems. Also about a dozen gems. The gems are pretty easy to identify versus the Jan Boys. They have a lot of these gold speckles. Makes it look a little bit more bumpy and a little bit more of these gold speckles on them versus the Jan Boys, which is more kind of matted. Let me try to get a better picture. So there's quite a few gem, say about a dozen or so gem, which is pretty good considering that earlier, a couple months ago, some sort of rat or squirrel ate a few of them. See, like you can still see the bite marks on this. They were like tiny fruits, and I don't know what it was doing, eating fruits this tiny. So. That's the good news. So just got a view of the gem. So Jan Boys and Gem productive, considering that I just grafted this last July. So in 1 year, some of the stems has taken quite well, and that's because I am working with a very, very old rootstock. So right here is Gem, and right here is Jan Boys. Okay, and a lot of the original treated stuff has flushed out. This is Nabar, so a lot of it's flushed out, looking pretty good. I've been trimming a lot of lower branches, kind of like that, and that's kind of helped me see some of the fruits and kind of get some air circulation into this. Here is the reed right here. The reed's taking off really nicely, but I'm getting this weird kind of I'm not really sure how to prune this yet. This kind of weird branching, it's all kind of intertwined between each other. So let's see what else is still alive in terms of the grafts. This is a Nimleo right here. It's kind of doing okay. I have a regular Haas right here. It's a regular Haas. Limbs getting pretty large. You see, and then all those grafts are made. So, all right. So that's an update. In August, this is an update on my avocado top working project. I'm going to kind of continue grafting more varieties onto this as it gets more and more as it progresses. But it's looking pretty good, and I am looking like I will get fruits at least by next year. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.